The Pinkertons are not doing their job, and Modern Horizons 3 leaks are everywhere. But I'm noticing something about Commander that may be a little bit different. Well, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to Kitchen Table TCG. My name is Louie, and I hope you're having yourself a fantastic day. We had a busy weekend at Game Grove and at the shop this week. I hope you've been enjoying all the content that we've been able to put out and that kind of stuff. But I wanted to start focusing in on Modern Horizons 3. We've actually had quite a bit of pre-sales and decks being picked up on Modern Horizons 3 on my website over at gamegrove.gg. And it's super interesting to see what people are picking up and how they're picking up and in what quantities. It's looking like this set is actually going to be pretty well purchased and excited from the consumer standpoint. And I think some of that has to do with this plethora of Modern Horizons 3 leaks that we saw this past weekend. I have no clue how this has happened because from my understanding, its distribution still doesn't even have boxes, but it's absolutely incredible how early some of this stuff gets out. Just so you know, I may pop in some images here, so if you just want to listen, I won't talk about specific cards that much. If you don't want to get spoilers, you want to open up the set, if there's people in the world who still talk about that. But I want to focus in on a couple of things at the back end of this video with Commander, because I think there's been a shift in the way that they are making pre-con decks. I think it probably matters a great deal for the end user and the consumer. So number one, we are seeing some incredible, powerful cards in Modern Horizons 3. We got this new, the Nethergoyf, okay? The Nethergoyf, pause this if you don't want spoilers, but the Nethergoyf is an insane 1 mana card that also has recursion. We're also seeing a 10 cost Elrazi that exiles half of the opponent's library. I mean, the cards are being pushed super heavy, which is good. From my perspective, this is good because it will sell the set. It looks like there was some conversation on Modern Horizons 3 is it going to be underpowered? Will they actually be able to put the power level to warrant prices and that kind of stuff? It looks like they are not, from what we've seen in spoilers, they are not holding back on the power level of this set, which should be good to see product move. Now, I don't know what it means for the modern format. That's not this channel, right? Like, we don't talk about that. We don't talk, I don't know what this means. I know a lot of the stuff is printed, it goes to legacy and that kind of stuff. I don't know what it means for those formats. I'm sure there's some negatives for printing power level cards that high. But from a store owning perspective, seeing people excited about cards is a really, really good thing. It will help product flow and move. And like I said, this weekend, we saw a bunch of pre-orders just show up out of nowhere. I actually had to raise my price on the Elrazi deck because somebody caught a wind of how we were priced and bought a bunch of them. And so we've got to work on that because from a store perspective, this stuff is really good. But I also understand from a community perspective, when you see these powerful cards being printed into the format, it does warp things. So I'm curious from your perspective, what cards you like and what you don't like in the comment section, but really powerful cards showing up. But it's the new Elrazi card that is the face commander that really caught my eye in terms of different card design for this set than previous. And I think this is a world, and maybe this has been slowly accumulating over time as Magic the Gathering has grown, but I think this set really hones it in. That commander decks are no longer made for the new consumer. They're no longer made for somebody to hop into commander for the first time. It seems like a commander deck that has this Eldrazi, I mean, the amount of text that's on the card and the amount of having to sequence the resolution of the card correctly, it is not entry level Magic. It's not even like second level Magic. It's third level. It's hard to understand Magic the Gathering. There's stack things. There's different elements to this card that make it convoluted and confusing to even a player who's been in the world for a while. And it makes me say, okay, they're no longer targeting the new audience for commander decks. They are targeting people who have been playing Commander for a long time. I want to get out right out front and I say, I think this is a good thing. Now, I want to also say, this might not be the first time. It might just be the first time that I'm really noticing Commander Masters. I feel like they pushed it I feel like they've been pushing the level, especially with the Universes Beyond stuff coming in. But I never felt like Universes Beyond, Lord of the Rings, right? That a new player couldn't hop in for the first time and really understand the deck and be able to play it. But these cards that were starting to come out, it seems like a new and upped power level and a new and upped complexity level for new players. And I actually think it's a good thing for the overall health of the game. I think it's a good thing because current Commander players need a reason to be excited for new sets and new things. And before you get mad at me for saying that about Modern Horizons 3, I'm not saying I think that they should have made these decks. I'm saying if they're going to make these decks, they need to be good and they need to bring the attention of the already existing player base. Because what you don't want is expensive decks coming out that have crappy cards in it that nobody wants. Nobody wants that. You don't want it as a consumer. I don't want it as a store, and Wizards doesn't want it. It doesn't make any sense to put out Modern Horizons 3 decks that are mid-power and not very good. It just doesn't follow the whole function of the set. So seeing these cards be powerful is really good, but also seeing them be targeted towards an audience that is already playing Commander, I think we'll have an inevitably a good, healthy win towards this product cycle for the long run. Pre-constructed decks are no longer, hey, you're new to the store, hey, you're new to Commander, why don't you check out this deck? Pre-con decks are now, oh my gosh, I'm going to buy this deck and I'm going to be able to show up and play at a power level 7 or power level 8 at a table and just play this out of the box. And it's a great, function for that, for stores to see their current players hopping back into things and not just new players. All in all, I think it's good. I think that the only negative is that Wizards needs to continue to make things that is for the new Magic the Gathering player. Because Commander, whether you think it's a good place for a new player to start or not, it seems to be the place that people inevitably start because their friends are playing Commander. So they did those starter Commander decks a couple years ago, and the starter Commander decks were really basic. They had some decent cards in it. Actually, a lot of people crack them open for singles still, but they have some basic cards in it that really just hone in the basic mechanics of the game. I think they were all monocolor, if I'm remembering correctly, and it's a win. And they need to do stuff like that too. As long as they are doing that and this, I think it'll be a good deal. And now here's my last statement. I think looking forward to like the Marvel Universes Beyond and all these Universes Beyond sets, I would prefer that they hone in on those being more entry level Commander deck things and then use the Magic the Gathering lore like they are kind of doing here with the Elrazi and whatever to push the power level for people who are already invested into Magic the Gathering and into the ecosystem and into the world of Magic the Gathering. They can find their more powerful players who are already entrenched there, but then have a more entry-level Commander style thing for the people who just like Marvel and want to play with Captain America and all that stuff and Frodo and all those things. I'm not a big fan of it here on the channel, but the average player, I think, is going to be really excited about these Commander decks, and we've only seen the Eldrazi one. So I am feeling better about my going really big on Modern Horizons 3 this year. It could still backfire, but I think this set is actually going to be really good. I'm very curious to hear your thoughts about this. If you want to hop into the Discord, head on over to KitchenTableTCG.com, where you can join the Discord server, chat about all these things, get first, access to when we do pre-sales and when we do all the breaks. We are going to be streaming, I believe, on Monday nights. We'll be opening up some packs and stuff like that on Monday nights live. Live Magic Mondays is what we're calling it. So make sure you're hopping on the channel and joining along. It's not just guess the card, win the card here. Sometimes we make other videos. Sometimes we try to do other stuff. So have yourselves a great day. Be kind to the people around you. We'll see you again next video.